and welcome to this, the inaugural episode of Manc and Yank. I'm Tom, and I'm a Manc.
I'm Meg, and I'm a Yank.
You love saying that, don't you?
I really hate it, yes.
So, Meg, you have been in the UK now just over one whole year.
Yes, I am.
How are you finding it? Yeah.
Well, current circumstances have made it a little less exciting than I would have hoped. I would have hoped to have done a lot more traveling at this point, but it is what it is, and I guess I'll get there eventually.
I guess some introductions are in order for those who don't know us. Like I said, I'm Tom. I have grown up in and around Manchester my entire life, lived here my entire life, except for 1 year that I spent living in Auckland, New Zealand. Meg, you have not been quite so rooted, have you?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Michigan. I spent about 3.5 years in California, beginning in about June of 2014. My dad's from Canada originally, so I suppose I have a few of those tendencies to start with. Yeah, and I've been here since October 2019.
So you are, in fact, half Yank, half Canuck.
I am.
So the title's a little misleading, but...
Born and raised in the U.S. I'm
Okay.
guessing. Dual citizenship, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't really like to admit that.
We've known each other some time now, haven't we?
Yeah. Started dating in February.
Yeah, via a certain insect-based dating app, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And yeah. So that's us. But the whole point of this is to try and get an American's perspective on these strange isles in which we live. I feel like Britain's got a certain stereotype about it around the world, some of which are true, some of which are not true. So let's dive straight into that. Growing up in America when you were younger, before you'd met anyone from Britain, what was your perspective? What do Americans see of Britain?
There's an obsession with the tea. You should throw it in the harbor. That one's definitely true.
We're still bitter about that.
Yes, that's why you don't teach it in your history courses. Other than that, I suppose definitely that you guys have bad teeth. Yours aren't that horrible, dear. But overall, I think because the NHS, I've decided, does not cover like dental and optical expenses, I think that that's where people just kind of just like stop caring. And I've decided that's why the dental work over here. And I think it's also due to you guys have less fluoride in your water than we do in the States, so I think that's also a big impact.
Yeah, so the less, the cleaner our drinking water is, the more it impacts our oral hygiene.
It's clean, it's just filled with chemicals.
Oh, okay. That's all right then.
It's clean, it's not dirty, it's not, it's got bacteria in it, it's just, well, except for California, you're not supposed to drink drinking water in SoCal, actually. Really not. We had to just buy like jugs, the way you buy jugs of milk?
Yeah.
We bought jugs of water in California. You wouldn't drink the tap water in the city. Absolutely not.
Yeah, we get that warning whenever we go to like foreign countries, and they go, "Oh, don't drink the tap water because you'll get ill if you drink the tap water." Is that what it's like in?
Seriously?
Yeah, like if ever we go on holiday to, I don't know,
like Mexico, yeah, but like, where else are you traveling?
I always got that warning whenever I went to Turkey.
I've never been there.
We got that warning about don't drink the tap water. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's one of those things that if you drank it, you'd get used to it.
Our water doesn't all taste the same, to be fair. I mean, it really depends where you live.
Well, on that note, do you know that there is a place in the UK that prides itself on its drinking water? And that is Scotland. If you hear any Scottish person talk about drinking water, you will get them. That's a pride and joy for them.
Drinking water?
Yeah, and I want to say as well, in terms of where we are here in the north, our tap water is pretty good. Well, yeah, but so the thing is, when you're making tea. Now, this is something I'm sure you're not used to. Bear with me on this. Bear with me. when I make a cup of tea, it's all good to go. It's perfect as it is. You are some places in Britain where you will get some weird little scummy stuff floating on top because it's what's in the drinking water.
Ew! What?
So people watching this will understand that, will recognise this.
There's like dirt that comes up in your drinking water.
It's not dirt, no. It's just like there's a little thing that's on the top and you can just see it.
Filmy?
Yeah, a little bit. I know.
I'm not gonna lie, it made me not want to travel and try water. It made me like now want to bring my own bottle along. Except I'd have to bring like a supply of bottles because if I'm not gonna drink the tap water, I can't simply refill the same one the way I usually would.
Anyway, we'll move on. What are some of the favourite things that you have come to enjoy about Britain in your year here? Obviously me, so you don't need to do that.
Okay.
I know you had a long spiel about me on there. You don't need to.
Very long. Okay. So long.
Let's just
whole episode.
Let's just focus on Britain in general.
Yeah, so I've got food allergies. That started about 3 years ago, as you know. So life-threatening. In the U.S., the food labels are kind of shameful when it comes to allergies, honestly. They only have to put if it does contain something. They don't have to put if it may contain. Over here, because if they put the may contain, I don't have to live in constant fear of my food. I've been able to eat bread again. Something I absolutely love. All about the carbs. Other than that, let's see, what else do I love about over here?
Well, let's base it on that. That is one thing that I was shocked when you first told me. So when we were first started talking to each other, and I obviously asked you that question, and when you replied with food labels, I was like, that's an interesting one. But it is something that I think we take for granted a bit. It is good here. So, on to some more conventional answers, aside from food labelling. What have you got?
NHS. I have a feeling that's probably quite standard, I'm guessing, for everyone who's had to pay for healthcare their entire life and has now come over.
We like our NHS.
Yes,
we don't like how underfunded it's been. But,
for me, it's still amazing. I agree that, it's underfunded, but not having to pay health insurance every month and getting the healthcare I need, how the U.S. has functioned so long.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't understand how.
Capitalism.
What I guess I don't understand is why there's so many people adverse to it. Like I don't get. I do. I understand why. I understand their arguments, but having seen it elsewhere, surely it's something that people should aspire to.
I mean, I think firstly, a lot of Americans haven't actually had to experience it. So, like, in theory, I thought it was a good idea. But I had never actually had the benefit of using the healthcare within the NHS, despite the fact I'm a Canadian citizen. I never really lived there, so I didn't get to benefit from it. So, I suppose experiencing it and realizing the full extent of how amazing it is was just, it was a shock to me. Even knowing what I knew about, it's free, whatever, experiencing it brought it all to life, honestly. And I think the other thing that a lot of Americans are disbelief for would be the implementation of bringing the idea of free healthcare.
Okay.
Because I think implementing it and making it actually happen within a 4-year presidency term is slim to none, especially with how big our country is.
That is the one thing that I kind of knew about, but until actually having a discussion with you, I'd never really got my head around it. And I think it is a lot of thing that people in Britain don't realise about America, is like how autonomous states are and how much they value that autonomy in terms of like how much laws are passed on a state-by-state level and how much they want to have individual control over their state. And so getting anything done at a countrywide, nationwide, federal level. Yeah. And that is shocking to me in a way.
Think about it. Only 48 states are continental. We still have Alaska and Hawaii, which are further away. So we've got 50 states that are all fighting with their own different beliefs and then trying to combine their ideas into a one functioning country.
I mean, essentially,
This is why we suck.
We've only got 4 to deal with in a way.
So another stereotype that we definitely have, that all Americans seem to idealize and love, that after visiting London I've realized is actually a disgusting tourist trap. Not even tourist trap, just disgusting. We'll just leave it at disgusting. Your red phone booths. Oh my god. Like, standing near it for a photograph, I wouldn't even do. They were that disgusting. So gross.
I feel like there was a few things that people, like the certain bits of iconography about Britain that stands out that is actually only London. So things like the red phone booths.
I've seen a few of them here.
Not
Again,
red.
I still wouldn't go near them.
The big red double-decker buses.
Oh.
That's a London. We get double-decker.
You guys have double-decker buses.
But it's not that that old-fashioned red one.
It's not the Harry Potter ones.
It's not a Harry Potter one. In terms of the phone booths, yeah, so we don't really... I remember when I was a kid, I used to see them about all over the place. But obviously, since the dawn of the mobile phone, they've gone away. You are right. The ones that are left are generally used to take a piss in.
Disgusting. They're so gross. Like, I would never go in there to make a phone call.
Oh, no. You would go in there if you were drunk and you needed a place to piss. You wanted a clean place to go and shoot up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because a glass box is going to be concealing for that?
If it's late at night, no one cares. Yeah, they are disgusting. Okay, so if you're a tourist, if you're a visitor to this country,
don't go near them.
Don't
you
go
smell them like 2 blocks away.
Don't go in them. You will not enjoy what you find.
No, you're not going to.
You will not enjoy what you find.
Imagine a porta potty in the US, like 5 of them all mixed together and then never cleaned. And now you've got your red phone booth.
Other stereotypes.
You guys love your football, or as Americans refuse to call it that, soccer.
Incorrectly call it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes, because I've dated a British guy before you. I know better than to call it.
I know. So I feel like you have ruined the novelty of this podcast a little bit.
Sorry.
By previously dating another British person. Another Manc as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
You've shat all over this, man.
Sorry.
But yeah, no. So football. What did you know? What did you know about football coming in?
Well, so I suppose I played soccer as a kid, so I understand the rules and all of that. It doesn't seem to be too different there. You guys seem to have 1,001 tournaments, leagues, everything. I cannot keep it straight. There's a few of the terms that are different. Just basic things, I suppose. Like, your guys' points refer to what you get at the end of the match, not a game, match. And then for us, points is what you get when you score the goal.
Okay.
That's
it. In terms of, but like culturally, were you prepared for the level in which it is semi-religious over here?
Yeah, but I grew up in an American football town, so we had diehard football fans. I mean, like, our biggest, not like college football team, but our biggest professional football team is the Detroit Lions, and they have been terrible, like absolutely awful for so many years now. But they still have diehard fans who will watch every single game, despite the fact that I think they went almost an entire season and didn't win once. And that's that team, which is no good anymore. But University of Michigan football is very well known.
No, this is the one thing that I just could not get my head around in terms of American sports, is this idea that the college level football is got like stadiums that seat tens of thousands of people.
Oh, tens of thousands is an understatement. Our stadium can hold over 120,000. For University of Michigan football can hold over 120,000.
I can't imagine like you going to a game going, oh, Man Met is playing Leeds University. Let's go fill Old Trafford. Like it would, it just doesn't happen.
To be fair though, your guys' football did come and play in our American football stadium once though. That University of Michigan one.
Okay.
They came out and played.
Yeah, I know.
It was a really big deal.
They do, yeah, and they do the American tours. But the point I'm making is that the idea that our university teams
would ever have a stadium of that
would
size.
draw that many people. Yeah, it's
the point where it's full to capacity.
It's insane
some of
to
our
me
games.
that basically college kids have become sports stars.
So I suppose the other thing about American football would be that despite the fact that I was born and raised in an American football town, I hate it. Like, cannot stand it. It's not a lack of understanding the rules, American boys, despite what you like to think. I genuinely understand the rules, I understand the plays, I just don't give a crap, honestly. I really don't. I'm sorry. My dad's Canadian, I was raised watching hockey, I think that's a real sport, and American football, you get so many pads and you run into each other and the game stops every 3 seconds.
That is what bothers me about it. I have attempted, so American football has a bit of a following over here. It's not huge, but it is becoming bigger over the years.
Yeah.
And so I once tried to watch the Super Bowl, and I couldn't see it through. It just keeps stopping. It's like they do one thing, and it's like, right, back to the studio while we settle in. Like,
no, that's not even what it is. It's they're supposed to push each other down and get the ball, stop the play, but it's like they stop it, and it's not just like a 2-second stop. It's like it's like a minute or a few minutes, and they air all of it.
Well, in the BBC coverage, they just went back to the studio, and the guys in the studio talked to it what we'd just seen.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just to me like, imagine if I was watching a football game, like real football. If I was watching a real football game and someone's bombing down the wing and they whip across it and it goes out for a goal kick, and they go, right, back to the studio for 3 minutes before the goalkeeper kicks off again. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit through it. I'm sorry, American football fans. I just couldn't do it.
I don't like doing it.
Other British stereotypes?
I suppose in terms of movies, I think that the one accent that any American assumes is going to exist is the posh British accent. There is no other accent as far as we're concerned.
No, I've noticed that.
Yes.
And the roles in which they play is generally the same.
Yes, they all wear black turtlenecks and they're all bald white guys. And that's always the bad guy. Let's clarify that. They're never the good guy. Unless maybe you're like James Bond, then, he's like, the good bad guy, because he still kills people, but he's like the good guy.
And those are British-made films.
I know.
So we don't make ourselves the baddie.
No, you don't. You make other people the baddie.
Yeah.
But in any of our movies, the villain has got to be a British guy with a posh accent in a turtleneck, and he's guaranteed to be like shiny head balls.
So, did you hear, growing up, many people who sounded like me, for instance?
I watched Mary Poppins. So answer to your question, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, who are the Northerners in Mary Poppins?
None of them. I'm just saying, that was my exposure to British accents, mainly.
Okay. So you do get the Cockney accent. You hear that sometimes, well,
yeah, in a few movies like that.
And you get Dick Van Dyke's award-winning attempt at a Cockney accent. It is often like...
We thought that was the genuine accent. Nobody knew differently.
It was...
I mean, we were also convinced that the guy, Laurie, who plays House, everyone forgot that he was British until, I forgot. I'd seen House for so long, and then I went back and watched 101 Dalmatians, and I was like, oh my god, he's British.
He's one of ours.
I know.
Can't have him.
I was shocked.
There are I've noticed a lot of American-led TV shows who are led by British actors putting on American accents.
Besides Hugh Laurie, who?
There is Andrew Lincoln in The Walking Dead. In terms of movies, you've got Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yes, those you've had me watch.
Yeah. There is Benedict Cumberbatch in Doctor Strange. So a lot of those Marvel films have got British guys. There's
the girl from Stranger Things. You showed me the video
of
her, yeah.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that in a million years. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't have guessed that about Tom Holland either, though.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown in Stranger Things. She's English too, and
things I never would have guessed.
Yeah, so I've just said there's loads of examples, and now I'm blanking on any more, but there are definitely more.
I have to get the point across though that seriously, Americans would never know. You guys do the American accent 1,000 times better than we do.
You've heard me mimicking you.
Yeah,
so.
no, his is terrible. Don't. I'm waiting for you to do this now.
No, we're gonna save that. No, that'll be a special.
Oh, darn.
That's a special.
You're missing out, though.
Okay. Anything else?
You guys complained about the rain.
We do.
So much. Like, honestly, I came over here and I was expecting it to be raining 24/7, 365, like, absolutely just pouring. Never stopping. You guys are a bunch of drama queens. Like, I had never been so shocked in my entire life. Like, you guys claim Americans are, like, over-dramatic and, whatever, but honestly, even talking with customers and such that I deal with at work, I have never heard so many people complain about the rain, and it's not bad. It's not. As somebody who was born and raised in Michigan, no, it doesn't pour for, like, days at a time. It'll, like, be cloudy and, like, drizzly, and then it just, they keep calling it rain. It's not rain, it's drizzles, okay? It's, like, drizzly at best. It'll be misting and they call it rain. Drama queens.
What I find about being here, like I said, I spent a year in Auckland, in New Zealand, and what I found about that, so in the winter, I found it rained a lot, but it's still a South Pacific island, and so that's how their weather is, and so what I found is that over there it would just like bounce it down for like half an hour. It would really smash it down, and then it'd stop for a while, and then during the height of winter you might get that a few times a day. What I find over here about the weather that bothers me is just how oppressively grey it is all the time, particularly in this time of year.
I'm sorry, it is this time of year. That's what it's supposed to be. The only difference is it's not cold enough to be snow.
Yeah, we don't.
Maybe that's why I don't find it that ridiculous. It's because I'm like, it's not snow. I don't have to shovel it. I don't have to brush it off my car in the morning. I'm happy.
So what I think about the British weather is it's never extreme enough to ever warrant anything. So, for instance, our snow is never going to be like the snow you get in the north of America or in Canada. Our rain, although it does flood in certain places of the country, we're lucky that it doesn't really get that around here. But our rain is never going to, it's not like monsoon season rain. Our heat is never going to be oppressively, warm and to the point where it ruins us. You get maybe 2 weeks of summer a year. But the point is that we can't deal with any form of extreme weather. It's always just mediocre, middle of the road enough. But that's my point. So if ever we get any snow, even if it's like a thin layer, like a level of snow
it's
that
like
would be
California getting rain. That's just the funniest thing.
Yeah. So any level of snow that we get, even if it looks like absolute amateur hour in comparison to what you would get, the traffic will grind to a halt. If I remember when I used to have to commute down a dual carriageway for work, one of the main roads, thankfully I don't anymore, but when I used to have to do that, if it rained, if it was a bit of snow, I used to have to give myself an extra 20 minutes because it would just, the traffic, we can't
last winter when it frosted a little, I remember someone being like, oh, you better hope the buses are coming. I was like, what do you mean the buses are coming? And they're like, well, it's really icy out. And I was like, where is this ice? I'm like literally looking up and down the road. There's no ice. There's like minor frost on the grass. And I'm just like, you people are ridiculous.
We are ridiculous.
But I suppose, it's like California when it rains. One raindrop falls. It might even not be a raindrop. It might just be like a drop from like somebody else's windshield wipers and like 2 lanes over, and they all put on their window wipers like full blast because the world is going to end. Like I remember people like at first it was like a joking type of thing, building an ark, and I think by the second week of rain it started to become like more of a reasonable idea in their minds. So that's kind of what I feel like you guys are like when extreme weather of any sort happens. But honestly, your rain's not that bad. You don't get the thunder. You don't get the lightning.
We do sometimes.
It happened once. One time since I've been here.
Okay.
Guaranteed to get it in Michigan if you get the rain.
Okay, fair enough.
always gonna. You might even get thunder and lightning during the middle of summer when there is no rain. It's called heat lightning. It still happens.
That's terrifying.
It's just normal.
Okay.
It just happens. It usually happens right around the tornadoes happening.
Okay, so we've discussed sort of like the stereotypes of the country. What are some weird, different things that you've noticed that perhaps wasn't part of the stereotype? You've come over here and you've gone, oh, I didn't even begin to think about that.
I suppose the slang. I was expecting to learn UK English as a second language is what I kept joking when I got here, but I've become more aware of the fact that it's less of a second language and more of a second, third, all the way down to like 200 and so on, because oh my god, there is so much slang and it varies so much from even down the road.
Yeah. I think that is a big thing for some people who are not from around here. I know you've got obviously you're going to have different accents and different dialects in America, but you can drive an hour down the road and it's totally different.
Yeah, it's like being in a different world. And the worst part is the slang term in one place does not mean the same thing somewhere else. It could mean something polar opposite different. Keep that in mind that this is also polar opposite different of the original word that it meant to begin with, if it wasn't a slang term.
Any examples?
So yeah, I mean, you guys just have a lot of weird slang terms, things that I learned when I was dating my last boyfriend, things like, punching, or punchin', apparently you guys take off the G or something, which just means that you're dating somebody above your number, I guess, basically.
Do you get where that comes from?
Punching above your weight class. They had to explain to me in a more technical way.
Yeah, it's a boxing reference.
Yes. Someone who doesn't care about boxing, I didn't know. Yeah, so there's that. Minted, which of course means that you have lots of money.
You know, the word mint can also mean good. That's particular as a Manchester thing.
Really?
Yeah. So, just the word.
So it wouldn't refer to the price of something. It would refer to.
So if you like something, you're like, oh, that's mint. I will bear in mind though that is slang that I used when I was at school. So there may be like teenagers who would hear the phrase mint being used and go, "Oh, you old man!" Like, so it changes that. I mean, I used to be a high school teacher, so the amount of times that I got called out on using things I didn't realise had aged, but apparently have aged.
Yeah, well, I suppose I don't really keep up on the slang, to be honest, even in the U.S., so I think that might be a downfall for me anyway, in terms of learning that difference. The other big thing was, so because my dad's Canadian, I was always thought of as the sarcastic one. I was known for my sarcasm. A lot of Americans struggled with it to the point where I could insult somebody while looking them in the eyes, and they had no idea because they thought I was joking. Like, they were that convinced that I was just sarcastic all the time. So I could be dead serious and be, like, absolutely just insulting them, staring them straight in the eyes. And they'd just laugh and be like, "You're so funny!" Like, they never got it. And I always thought I had a handle on it until I came here. And I have been put to shame on a level that I don't even know how to express.
Yeah. There have been many a times when I've had to go, "No, that was a joke, Meg. It's not meant to be taken seriously."
The worst is through text message.
Yeah, I think the tone of voice isn't there in text message. So.
I can tell with your facial expressions more, but...
I think that's because I'm got no poker face, and if I tell a joke, I have to start smirking straight away. It's... Yeah.
Worse than the people who have the really dry sense of humor, which is actually quite common over here, I've noticed. And I think that's where I struggle with it more.
Well, I think I do have quite a dry sense of humour. I find myself too funny.
I was going to say, but you show the facial expressions. Like,
Yeah.
I have coworkers and stuff who are very dry sense of humor, and I swear in some ways they're so robotic that when they are joking, I cannot tell to save my life. Like, I really can't. There was one thing which I suppose I was expecting to be different. Again, my dad's Canadian, so I kind of knew it, but the alphabet. In addition to just the general keyboard, the way it's formatted, the actual letter of the alphabet, the letter Z, as we call it in America, is called Z. Again, my dad taught me the alphabet as a child. My mom made him reteach me because she didn't want me going to school looking like a stupid child.
So the Canadian would be Z.
Would be Z, yes.
Okay.
So, but then I had to relearn it because I wasn't allowed to go to school looking stupid.
Okay.
So Canadians say Z, Americans say Z. I made a joke about it when I first got here. I taunted my coworkers a little bit because I had fun. Before I was ready to disown my Americanism for the most part. I had a little fun with it first. So I asked them what the black and white striped animal at the zoo was, and they were like, "It's a zebra. What are you talking about?" Because they pronounce that differently here. And I was like, "What is it called?" And they go, "It's a zebra. Do they not have those in your zoos?" And I was like, No. How do you spell that? And they go, Zebra. And I was like, so it's a zebra. And they go, no, it's a zebra. I was like, but you just said it started with Z. And they were like, yeah, it's not a word, it's a letter. And I was like, well, you should, Americans may make things, really dumb, but you make things more complicated than needed. So in some ways.
Well, do you call it W instead of W?
No, it's called W.
Well, the same principle stands then, doesn't it? It's not water. Water.
Well, otherwise you couldn't call it B-dubs. Buffalo Wild Wings. Three good, amazing chicken wings.
I have absolutely no clue what
God.
she just said.
I wish. So it's Buffalo Wild Wings, so BWW. So what you call it for short would be B-dubs, because it's a W, it's double W's.
Okay, moving on. Okay, I feel like that can be used as a handy little segue here. Check out this for a slick segue. What is it that you miss about the US? I know you said you don't really want to go back, but there must be some stuff that you miss.
Yeah, I miss ranch dressing. I think that could easily make the top of the list. I don't know how to explain it. It's heaven in a bottle. It's incredibly expensive over here because it has to be imported. So a small little bottle of ranch that's maybe like that big, which would probably cost maybe a couple bucks at most in the US. I have to pay £9 for, easily £9 bare minimum. It's insanely expensive, but it's worth every drop. I'll make you try it eventually. I'm not ready to share it with him yet. That is how protective I am of my ranch dressing.
So, on that note, she doesn't miss ranch dressing because she has it with every meal.
It's not every meal.
It's every meal. She just has to pay a lot for it. So, what are some things you actually miss?
I still miss it, okay? It's not quite the same. I swear it tastes different, okay? I don't know. I miss A&W root beer. Not just root beer in general, but specifically A&W root beer. I also miss Berner's ginger ale. Not just any ginger ale, specifically Berner's.
Mm-hmm.
A&W and Berner's are very much a Michigan local thing, so I couldn't even get Berner's in California.
Okay.
But those particular pops I miss the most. I miss donuts. Really miss donuts.
But you've said this to me before, and I'm telling you, you can get decent donuts here.
No, you can't. Okay.
You can, right? Go.
They're healthy.
No, I tell you what. One day we will go to say Blackpool or some seaside resort, and you can get them deep fried.
Congratulations! You have to drive 30 minutes to get a damn donut.
You can get proper deep fried donuts. You can get them here. That is not.
You should be able to make a donut.
Okay.
Have you never made donuts?
No,
Oh my God.
I've never made donuts.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You've never made a donut? Oh my God. Is this a real thing over here?
We don't have deep fat fries now.
You don't need deep fat fryers. You put a pot on the stove and put oil in it. You guys make chips at home all the time. French fries.
That is, chip pans are a thing that are...
Yeah, you can make a donut in those, though.
Yeah, but I was just about to say they're way
You just
more
don't
efficient.
put the little basket thingy in. Instead, you just put the dough in, and then you use tongs, and you flip it partway through.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that they don't... Chip pans, my nana used to have a chip pan. They're dying a death now. No one has a chip pan anymore. Although obviously there are some people who do.
Whatever.
But I don't know. I associate chip pans with the older generation.
It doesn't have to be like that, though. It can just be like a regular, you guys call them pans that you put on the stove. We call them a pot, so like a soup pot or whatever. So, besides, it doesn't matter. Their donuts are healthy snack. I'd grab an apple if I wanted that. I want it to be so fatty, greasy, and I want it rolled in sugar. I want it filled with sugar. I want it glazed with sugar. There better be tons of sugar on there, and it better have a heck of a lot of it, because, oh my god. It's the only good way to get a donut.
I feel I need to be responsible here and say that even the donuts you can get in the supermarket over here, while maybe not dripping with fat, are not healthy. They are incredibly unhealthy. Please do not take your dietary advice from this one. They're not healthy.
I feel like I should be offended by that, but I have no shame in terms of the way I eat. It's the one thing that I've always embraced about myself. The only thing that killed that over the years was my allergy that I got in 2017. Yeah, I've just since I've been here, I've been able to bounce back from that again. Food labels, but. Shame. I eat whatever I want. It makes me happy. I don't care what it does to my body. This is why America's obese, by the way. I just got lucky with my genes.
Some sound dietary advice there from Megan. Okay, so quiz time. We're gonna see in her year and a bit of being in Britain, what has she learned? What can she pick up?
Probably nothing.
Are you good to go with the first bit of the quiz?
I'm a little scared, I'm not gonna lie.
Is that a yes?
As good as I'll be.
Okay. Number 1. Which 4 countries make up the United Kingdom?
England, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland.
Okay, you pass that. Number 2. What is the name of the national anthem?
God Save the Queen. I know that because it's the same as Canada.
You see, I didn't know that. I only learnt this the other day. Canada's national anthem is also God Save the Queen. What is the official name of the currency?
The Great British Pound, or some people put pound sterling.
Yes, sterling is what I was after. Okay, number 4. In what year did the England football team win their only major trophy?
Are you serious right now? Mm-hmm. Was I even alive when this happened? Can you give me like that type of hint, or no?
No, it was a long time ago.
Why would I know this?
Because
I'm only new to football. Has it happened in the last few years? Because the answer is no, then I don't know it.
No, it is a major part of the British sort of zeitgeist. Well, English, I should say, zeitgeist. We will not let this go, because it's been the only time our international team has ever done anything.
So you won something once, and you're holding on to it for this long. Yeah. I'm going to go with 1950, because that seems like a ridiculous amount of time to hold on to something like that.
The correct answer is 1966.
So I wasn't that far off. A ridiculous amount of time to hold on to one win.
When England beat West Germany in the World Cup final.
You seem to know like every bit of this. What the heck?
Well, like it's part of the culture. Like everyone remembers it. 66. It's ingrained to an unhealthy degree. I would say an unhealthy degree that we cling to this.
One victory, and they think they're all that.
Right. So number 5. Which of the 4 home nations is the historic figure William Wallace associated with?
I don't even know who that is. Who's he?
If I give you the clue, you'll get it. And I'm unsure whether to give you the choice with the. Okay, I'll give you the clue. William Wallace is the guy who Mel Gibson plays in Braveheart, which, for the record, is an awful, awful film. Why does Braveheart get so much credit? It is awful. Sorry, Braveheart rant over, but it's awful. William Wallace, where's he from?
I've never watched the movie, actually. However, you showed me the epic rap battle, so Scotland. I remember the kilts.
Yeah, that is correct. We'll see if I'll give you that one. Tom, editing this in the future, give her a point. Don't give her a point It's up to you. You had to be given a clue. We'll give you the point. Give her the point.
Like half a point.
No, we're not doing half points. Give her the point. Okay, number 6. What is the name given to the prolonged bombing campaign by Germany on various military and civilian targets across the UK during World War II?
I don't know.
Any?
Absolutely no.
The correct answer is the Blitz.
I feel like you should have asked this as if it was like a food, and you've been like, what's the one, World War II thing that relates to a Jewish food? And I would have been like, Blitz! Would have gotten that.
Do you hear much about the Blitz over here?
I would love to say yes, but I didn't pay attention to my history classes.
It is, honestly, it is one of the things.
I've heard people mention it on the news over here, but in the States, if that's what you're asking.
No, I mean, even since being here.
Oh, yes.
It is one thing that God so irritates me about this whole thing. And honestly, everyone compares everything to the Blitz. Like, the whole...
several people bring it up on the phone. I honestly don't really know much about it.
Like, the whole pandemic thing we've been going through, Brexit, everything's been great. If we got through the Blitz, we can get through this. It's not the same. It's not the same. Not everything is comparable to the Blitz. Blitz ran over now.
Apparently, for a country with so much history, they still can't let things go.
No, we cannot. And it bothers me. Okay, what is the nickname given to the London Underground train network?
The Tube.
The Tube is correct.
I know that because I wrote it.
Who was the Prime Minister prior to Boris Johnson?
This was a female, I remember this. It wasn't the Iron Lady, it was, Theresa May?
Correct.
Yes, I remember that because her surname is a month. That's the only reason I remember that.
Do you remember the terrible thing that she once did? We discussed this at one point. She was asked what one of the worst...
She's the one that, she made, like, starving miners, and then, yes, because I remember the meme for this. There's starving miners, being, like, people who, like, mine, and then there were starving miners, which they made the joke about Boris, and it was, like, miners, like, children.
No, you are, once again, mixing her up with Thatcher. Thatcher was the one who starved the miners. Though Theresa May was the one that, when asked one of the most terrible things that she'd ever done, the naughtiest thing she'd ever done was running through a field of wheat.
Naughty.
Do you remember this conversation with the
yeah.
wheat field? Now, of course, she did, deport a load of people who had been living in the UK legally for over 50 years, but apparently running through that field of wheat was worse.
I think her and Trump might get along.
Don't allow the rehabilitation of Theresa May just because Boris Johnson is so terrible. I told myself I won't get political on this, but that's out the window, isn't it?
You made the question.
Yeah. Okay, number 9. What mythical creature is on the Welsh flag?
Is this the guy with the horse for the butt and the...
What?
One of the things was in Harry Potter, too.
You mean like a centaur?
Yeah, there we go. There's the name.
A centaur is incorrect.
Oh.
So, the correct answer is, in fact, a dragon.
Is this why you guys are so obsessed with Game of Thrones? You can't just, like, let go of the medieval crap with the dragons and things?
You know, I think, and I might well be wrong here, but I think it's to do with St. George and the whole idea that St. George slew a dragon.
Isn't like Pete the...
But St. George is the patron saint of England, not of Wales. So, I don't know. I don't know. Any Welsh people or Welsh historians that know why there is a dragon on the flag, please let me know, because I have not a clue why there's a dragon on your flag.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say they won't let go of the monarchy, so they're not gonna let go of the other things back from the Middle Ages, like dragons.
You're aware dragons are not real, right?
Yeah, but you guys still have it on your flag, so.
It's not my flag. I'm not Welsh.
Part of the UK.
10. The last question. So, the first intercity railway in the entire world was built between which two UK cities?
What? I know this about the railways in your country.
But
I've only ridden the train like once.
Right.
Just a few years ago.
That's not what I'm asking then.
I don't know. London and Manchester, I don't know.
It is in fact London. No, it's not London. It is in fact Manchester and Liverpool.
Seriously thought I got that right for a second. That was very deceitful. I don't think that's fair. I feel like I should get bonus points just because he lied to me.
Yeah, no, but it was where we are now, the absolute heartland of the Industrial Revolution. There was a point in time when the Northwest was the most technologically advanced place in the world.
So why Liverpool then?
I guess because there was a lot of, like I said, a lot of industry. Manchester had a lot of the mills, like the cotton mills and all that sort of thing. We're very big over that, big for that round here. Liverpool has got the docks.
Oh, so big distribution, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of the production happened here, and a lot of the shipping happened in Liverpool. So Manchester and Liverpool as a pair, as much as there is this healthy rivalry between the two.
You guys hated each other.
I had this discussion once with a Scouse friend of mine, that Mancs and Scousers hate one another until a Southerners are around, and then we're Northerners. That's generally how the British hatred works. We hate who we're with until someone else comes along, and then we're together. And so if then we heard an American show up and start bad mouthing Britain, then yeah, me and that Southerner, we're busy mates now because the Yank has come in.
And people can't figure out why the British haven't let go of the class system yet.
This is just how it works. So,
high school. It's high school.
Yeah. So yeah, we hate the Scousers until someone from the South shows up, and then we love the Scousers, and the Scousers are Northerners with us. That's how it works. Anyway, American to British. 15 words. I'm going to tell you the American version. You are going to tell me what we call these things in Britain.
Oh, you're not even making this easy on me.
Number 1, a diaper.
Nappy.
Correct. 2, mailbox.
Postbox.
Number 3, a vacation.
Holiday.
Number 4, a zucchini.
I don't remember either of them.
Zucchini is a courgette.
Oh, that's right. They make it sound fancy, but it's not. It's just another squash.
5, an apartment.
A flat.
6, the sidewalk.
Pavement.
7, a pacifier.
You don't call it a pacifier, what do you?
It's called a dummy.
Call your child a dummy?
No, we don't call a child the dummy. The thing that goes in the mouth is a dummy.
Like with a B or with... How do you spell it?
D-U-M-M-Y. A
So
dummy.
give your child a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking
8, bangs.
Fringe.
Nope. The correct answer is to have sex with. It's a fringe. You're right.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I thought we were going from American word to British. Really messed me up there. Yeah, I had to get used to not calling it bangs, by the way. Because this would be called side sweat bangs in the US.
9, bathrobe.
I want to call it a house coat because I think I've heard a few people refer to it as that, but I still call it a bathrobe, so I don't know.
A house coat. No, I've never heard that. It's a dressing gown. Is correct. 10, sneakers.
Trainers.
Yep. 11, a garbage can.
A bin.
11. No, sorry, that was 11. 12, the liquor store.
Not called a liquor store? What the heck do you
Not,
call them?
the word liquor is not really.
Corner store? That's what we call them in trashy places in the US.
Well, a corner store.
Yeah, you call it a corner store.
You can get a corner store, yeah, over here, or a corner shop, as we would call it. But specifically one for selling alcohol is an off license, or sometimes an off.
Are they not licensed to sell the alcohol, so that's why they're off license?
No, they are licensed to sell it.
That doesn't make sense.
13. Tic-tac-toe.
Just don't call them X's. Call them crosses.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact they're not the right way. And you don't call them O's. Rose. Knots. I remember this because people say knot on the phone when I'm asking them.
So what's the game?
Knots and crosses?
Knots and crosses.
Crosses and knots?
No, you got it right. Knots and crosses is correct. You've got it. 14. Turn signal.
Indicator.
And 15. Cotton candy.
They just call it candy floss. It's the only thing they call candy. Everything else is sweets.
Candy floss is correct.
Yes, everything else is sweets. They don't use the word candy. They get very offended.
I don't know
And
why.
then they get offended and they'll laugh at you, by the way.
I don't get actually why we do use the word candy in candy floss, given that we don't really use it anywhere else. Okay, well, thank you guys. That wraps it up for today's episode. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for those likes and subscribes that you're about to go and do now. Yeah. Cheers. You done it. Go do it. The whole point of this is we want to introduce Meg to all aspects of British culture, whether it is things she can try in terms of visiting places, she can watch, she can try and eat, drink, whatever. You've got to bear in mind, she's got that nut allergy, certain things are going to kill her. So, with that in mind, what should we try?
Don't make me use my EpiPens.
We want your suggestions. We've got a few ideas already, but we want to know other suggestions. So please give us some ideas for episodes. Apart from that, I think all that's left to do is to say goodbye and thank you once again for watching. Meg, is there any favourite quaint British goodbyes that you like? I know you get a feeling about.
Cheerio! It always makes me laugh. I've had a few people say this on the phone and I can't stop giggling.
On that note, cheerio.
Bye!
Say cheerio.
Don't want the cereal though.
Cheerio.